Google has released a new Gemini update, and this one fundamentally changes how the model performs when tasks become genuinely difficult. The difference isn't obvious with simple prompts. It becomes clear when the system is pushed into complex reasoning scenarios that typically cause models to fail. The headline metric driving industry attention is Gemini 3.1 Pro's score of 77.1% on the ARC AGI-2 benchmark. This number is significant because ARC AGI-2 is not a memorization test. It evaluates a model's ability to solve entirely new abstract logic patterns it has never encountered before. I'll tell you now, and in the meantime, subscribe. I have a lot of interesting stuff. There are no shortcuts through training overlap or pattern recall. For comparison, Gemini 3 Pro scored 31.1% on the same benchmark. In just 3 months, Google more than doubled abstract reasoning performance on one of the most demanding reasoning evaluations currently available. This is not incremental progress. It reflects a structural shift in reasoning capability, and it's not based on a single cherry-picked benchmark. Across broader evaluations that better represent real professional workflows, Gemini 3.1 Pro now ranks at or near the top. On the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index, it sits 4 points ahead of Claude Opus 4.6. On Apex Agents, a benchmark measuring long-horizon professional tasks involving planning, memory, and tool use, performance increased from 18.4% to 33.5%. That's nearly another doubling. Mercor's CEO, Brendan Foody, noted that the model successfully completed 5 tasks that no other model had previously been able to solve. Google has not disclosed the specifics yet, but the implication is clear. These are not toy examples. These are real workflows that previously hit hard capability ceilings. Google positions Gemini 3.1 Pro explicitly as a model built for scenarios where simple answers are insufficient. That message appears consistently throughout their documentation. The model is designed for complex problem-solving, multi-step reasoning, advanced analysis, and deeply multimodal inputs. It can process massive datasets and reason across text, images, audio, video, and even entire code bases. Outputs are structured and system-level, not just conversational snippets. The context window extends to 1 million tokens, and output can reach 64,000 tokens. Large enough to handle full projects rather than fragments. Google presents this model as the foundational intelligence layer underlying its ecosystem. Whether generating detailed scientific visualizations, synthesizing large datasets into unified dashboards, or supporting creative workflows that combine logic and design, Gemini 3.1 Pro performs the heavy reasoning work. One tangible example is code-generated SVG animation. The model can create scalable vector animations directly from text prompts. Unlike pixel-based video, SVG remains resolution-independent and lightweight. For interactive web development and educational tools, that represents a major capability shift. Beyond that, the model can generate interactive three-dimensional simulations with real-time hand tracking and generative audio. This is particularly relevant in research, engineering, and creative technology contexts where dynamic system interaction is required. Gemini 3.1 Pro can also translate abstract literary or conceptual ideas into functional interfaces, effectively bridging high-level thinking and practical implementation. From a rollout standpoint, Google is deploying the model broadly. It is available through the Gemini app to all users, with higher usage limits for Google AI Pro and Ultra subscribers. Notebook LM remains exclusive to Pro and Ultra tiers due to its research-intensive use cases. For developers, the model is accessible in preview via the Gemini API through Google AI Studio, Vertex AI, Gemini Enterprise, Gemini CLI, Android Studio, and other platforms. This wide deployment signals that Google views it as a foundational upgrade rather than a niche consumer feature. Importantly, Google describes this as a preview release. The company is validating performance, collecting feedback, and refining safeguards before full general availability. This mirrors their approach to other advanced features, where capability expansion runs alongside safety evaluation. The model card reveals detailed internal safety testing. Gemini 3.1 Pro shows modest improvements in text safety, multilingual safety, and tonal consistency compared to Gemini 3 Pro, while maintaining low rates of unnecessary refusals. A slight regression in image-to-text safety appears, but manual review suggests these cases were largely non-severe. In frontier risk domains, chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear, the model can provide accurate information, but does not meaningfully enable new threat capabilities. In cybersecurity, additional testing showed increased performance, though still below critical thresholds. Interestingly, deep-think mode underperforms in cyber tasks when inference cost is factored in, reducing potential risk escalation. In machine learning research benchmarks, the model shows measurable gains. For example, it reduced the runtime of a fine-tuning script from 300 seconds to 47 seconds, compared to a human reference time of 94 seconds. Even so, overall performance remains below alert levels. In misalignment testing, the model demonstrates improved situational awareness in certain scenarios, but remains inconsistent overall. Again, it stays below critical thresholds. These results indicate that reasoning improvements are substantial, but they are being released with active monitoring and safeguards. There is also a broader ecosystem implication. In January, Apple announced a multi-year agreement with Google to integrate Gemini technology into Siri. According to Bloomberg, Gemini-powered Siri features may debut in iOS 26.4. This means Gemini's core reasoning improvements could influence not only Google products, but also Apple's ecosystem and enterprise integrations that rely on the Gemini API. When reasoning performance doubles at the model level, the effects propagate across platforms. Examining additional benchmarks reinforces the pattern. On Humanity's last exam, Gemini 3.1 Pro scores 44.4% without tools, up from 37.5%. On GPQ-A Diamond, focused on scientific knowledge, it reaches 94.3%. On Terminal Bench 2.0, which evaluates agentic terminal coding, it scores 68.5%. On SWE Bench Verified, testing real-world coding tasks, it achieves 80.6%. On Live Code Bench Pro, drawing from competitive programming sources such as Codeforces, ICPC, and IOI, it reaches an ELO rating of 2,887, firmly in elite territory. Long context reasoning also improves. At 128,000 tokens on MRCR v2, it scores 84.9%. At 1 million tokens, performance remains stable relative to Gemini 3 Pro. Multimodal benchmarks show strong results, including 80.5% on MMMU Pro and 92.6% on MMM-LU Multilingual Q&A. These are not abstract lab statistics. They directly affect how the model performs when handling messy, real-world inputs. Ultimately, Gemini 3.1 Pro is not positioned as a flashy breakthrough, but as a reliability upgrade for complex tasks. Agentic workflows, long horizon planning, advanced coding, algorithm design, and multimodal reasoning all benefit from this iteration. Google frames it as a stepping stone toward more advanced agentic systems. The rapid iteration from November's Gemini 3 Pro release to this update suggests a faster development cycle informed by user feedback and internal evaluation. A subtle but important strategy is uniform distribution. Consumer apps, enterprise systems, and developer tools all receive the same core intelligence improvements. This ensures consistency. Prototypes built in AI Studio behave similarly in Vertex AI or Gemini Enterprise, and users interacting through the Gemini app access the same underlying reasoning engine. That alignment becomes critical when AI models shift from novelty tools to core infrastructure. Google makes clear that Gemini 3.1 Pro is not the final destination. It is a preview phase, a validation step before broader release. Further advancements in agentic capabilities are already underway. As these reasoning improvements move into production systems, the real impact will be visible in the products developers build on top of this foundation. And that is where the next phase begins.